15 love. Thank you.
Russell before this match earlier today, and he was saying it's going to be important for Taylor just to separate the friendship from competitiveness. These two are very good friends, and got to have that killer instinct from the point go.
There's Michael Russell. Looked like he had Maverick sunglasses on there, Nick.
He sure did.
Looking very cool in the Melbourne sun.
Great forehand from Taylor Fritz. Again, that's another thing that Michael Russell was discussing, just wanting Taylor to really play first strike tennis. You want to try to get ahead in the point against Frances Tiafoe, especially with as fast as these courts are playing. So important to hit that ball in the corner, get your opponent on the move.
Let's second set. Game Fritz.
World number 22, Taylor Fritz gets himself up and running here in the John Cain Arena. He leads 1-0. Not too much in it. Tiafoe comes to the net just about as much as any player on
15.
tour. Not necessarily with serve and volley, but smooth moves like this one. You mentioned that the warmer conditions, it's only going to rise the temperature throughout this match, could get up to 27, 28 degrees. You got a gut feeling who that may benefit?
Tiafoe, but yeah, in these warmer conditions, Frances sweats a lot, so he tries to drink a lot of Pedialyte and actually put salt in his drink just to make sure he doesn't have any cramping issues.
Well, it's not just the temperature that's rising, the tennis is heating up as well. 16 big blows there.
Yeah, just the second game of the match, and these guys are firing on all cylinders.
40-30.
Frances Tiafoe. He's been using that short slice backhand quite a lot in the last few months at the end of the year, and he was realizing how much that was working because he's bringing his opponents forward. They're really struggling to find a place to go against him off of that shot because he's so athletic and he passes so well. And you see right there, that play worked to perfection.
Certainly was perfection, and Tiafoe able to level us up at 1-1.
It's kind of a play from the Roger Federer book, right? That little short slice, cross court, bringing your opponent in. Especially with a guy like Taylor Fritz, he likes to stay on the baseline, likes to direct traffic from there. So if you can bring him forward, make him feel uncomfortable at the net, it's always a good play.
And we saw that head-to-head just prior to the match starting. Currently 2-1 Fritz. Tour level, last meeting 2019 Paris-Bercy, and he won in 3 sets there, best of 3 match of course. 2 meetings at junior level as well, which Tiafoe won both of. Both of these players top juniors in their time. Taylor Fritz, a former world #1 junior, and Tiafoe just 1 spot lower at #2.
Yeah, you talk about the fitness aspect in this match. Frances Tiafoe had to go through 5 sets in his first round match to get through. And Taylor Fritz only had a 3-setter. So sometimes those 5-set matches can wear on you, so we'll be able to see here how physical this match can be and how much Tiafoe has in the tank, as he also played doubles yesterday with myself.
You guys still talking, Nick?
Yeah, we're very close. We actually were FaceTiming just after the match and just discussing a little bit of the doubles, but then he's just wanting to get his mind right for the singles.
Oh, it's beautiful ball striking from Tiafoe.
Yeah, that's one thing that Wayne Ferrer has really been trying to adjust in France's game, is just using that backhand down the line a lot more. His backhand is so consistent cross court, but he wants him taking it down the line so that guys will then come back into his forehand, and then he can direct play from there.
Tiafoe looked out of position there after the return, but it was a shaky forehand from Fritz, and it brings up the first break point of the match. Possibly a miss hit there from Tiafoe, just caught him out with some side spin.
Yes.
a big slice of luck there for Fritz.
Advantage, Fritz.
Yeah, these guys are such good friends. Here, Taylor Fritz is going to say he's sorry, but we all know in the tennis world, really not that sorry when it goes over the net, especially on such a key point there.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the second double fault already from Taylor Fritz in this match. Just maybe feeling that pressure that Frances Tiafoe can create off of the second serve return.
Advantage, Fritz.
Not at the woods yet here, Taylor Fritz.
Yes. Advantage.
Fourth ace, 214 kilometers an hour. Definitely the bigger of the two serves for Taylor Fritz. Tiafoe can crank it as well, but Fritz very consistently big. And there's the short slice again.
Yeah, these points are being played at a high level, at high intensity, but again, for Frances Tiafoe, a smart play bringing Taylor Fritz in and just trying to make him hit a volley. Taylor Fritz has been playing quite a lot of doubles recently and working on that net court game, and that's also what Michael Russell's been working on, a lot of the transition part of his tennis.
Still a bit of work to be done based on that volley. Lost control there. Tiafoe has picked him off here.
Advantage, Tiafoe.
So after some help from Fritz on the previous point, Tiafoe brings up a second opportunity to break.
Would have made the highlight reel. I mean, Frances Tiafoe, he is just so quick around the court. He makes you feel like the court is so small. And he felt like he had a winner there.
Great anticipation and skills to match. Very nearly pulled it off. Taylor Fritz breathes a sigh of relief. Tennis, using the full dimensions of the court.
Advantage, Tiafoe.
Fritz has gone wide with the first serve on the first two break points. Interesting to see if he goes there again or looks to change things up. Oh, it's a stunner.
I mean, are you kidding me? What a great return for Frances Tiafoe, stepping inside the court, taking time away from Taylor Fritz, we thought. To be able to get over there, hit this open stance backhand. I mean, Taylor Fritz's backhand is money in the bank for this young man. Now, 17 minutes into this match, and this is a 10-minute game.
Yeah, this game has been a match in itself, hasn't it? Chances both ways, and Fritz now with another opportunity to come through. But he's not able to do it just yet. More sizzling play from Tiafoe.
Yes.
Yeah, we saw Frances Tiafoe with his headphones in as he came on the court. He said he likes to listen to Rick Ross and Drake, so I think he's got that hip-hop pumping in his mind right now, and he is firing forehands at the moment.
For him, that play, the short backhand slice, and bringing Fritz into the net. Doesn't look comfortable in that position, Taylor Fritz.
Yeah, coming forward, it's not an easy ball to deal with, and you know if you come into the Frances Tiafoe forehand, it's going to be tough to volley that one because he's got so much jump off that forehand spin and pace. So you almost would want to drop shot it just right in front of you. Have to bring Frances into the net and then make it a cat and mouse.
So a fourth break point. Oh, he's missed a volley. Looked as if he was going to be able to get the job done there.
Yes.
Just ran out of ideas, perhaps, at the net.
Yeah, you love to see it from Frances Tiafoe when he takes that second serve and comes in. Again, he's so athletic, so he's able to do that. He gets his feet in the right position. But on this volley, you almost feel like he had too many options. Just put it in the court, make your opponent have to come up with one more passing shot.
Approaching 13 minutes this game.
Using the full dimensions as the court, as you said, Colin. You almost feel like this has been a full set in one game. These guys are huffing and puffing already.
Yeah, and Fritz has been putting in a lot of work on his physicality, but he was doubled over, taking in some oxygen there. And he's got to face a fifth break point.
Yes.
And he saves it. He's still trying to recover.
Yeah, he's talking about putting in work on his physicality. He's been working at the USCA Training Center in Carson with the head trainer, Gina. Put in about 3 weeks of fitness on the track, in the gym.
Still looks to be struggling a little, Fritz. But he's keeping his level high. do it, yeah.
Neither guy wants to blink in this game. They feel this game is extremely important. The 11th deuce.
He looks heavy, Fritz. Lactic acid is building up in the legs already.
Absolutely, and that's a case of the two guys knowing each other extremely well, right? Frances Tiafoe knows that guys like to serve his forehand on big points because a lot of times he'll chip it. So he was waiting for that forehand return, and you saw him take one step quickly over there and bang for the winner.
So a 6th break point for Tiafoe. And a 6th break point save for Taylor Fritz. Once again, in impressive fashion.
Yes.
Come on, guys, we're going to have to flip a coin for it.
I think everyone's enjoying this. Even Wayne Ferreira, coach of Tiafoe, with a little laugh.
Well, he tried the short slice again, and there's no call here. Tiafoe looks convinced it was wide.
Oh, just catching the outside part of the line there. We know Taylor Fritz likes to go short angle with these backhand passing shots, but here he was able to find that down the line pass. Ooh.
99% out, Nick. 100% in tennis.
100% out for Frances Tiafoe, so he thought.
And Fritz survives, and he celebrates as if he's won the match. What an effort to come through. His 2nd hold.
Fritz leads by 2 games to 1.
And he gets his nose in front. 2-1 here, first set. Pulled that off, Taylor Fritz.
15.
That was almost like the Gael Monfils shot we saw yesterday where he went around the net and almost pulled it off, and this is another one. Look at the slide from this athlete right here and just barely missed it.
Too hot to handle from Fritz.
Yeah, Fritz is one of the cleanest ball strikers in the game. He's so much fun to watch when he's just hitting down the middle of the court with anyone. He does not miss a ball, takes it early. His hand skills are out of this world. Fish, the Davis Cup captain, calls Taylor Fritz one of the best ball strikers he's ever seen.
15.
So much fun to watch if you ever get a chance.
High praise from a man like Marty Fish, and there's another clean strike.
Speaking of Marty Fish and Davis Cup, Taylor Fritz was actually supposed to go play Davis Cup to represent the USA. After Stockholm, he came over to California to play World Team Tennis, and during World Team Tennis, he got COVID, so he wasn't able to fight in Madrid to play Davis Cup. And who took his spot? Frances Tiafoe. Frances was actually in the Bahamas for vacation. They called him up and said, look, buddy, you want to come over? And he came over to Madrid and played a match actually for the USA.
And he's got him.
Cain Fritz.
And after an immense struggle to hold his own service game, Fritz
Leads by 3
returns the screw and finds a break of serve.
Yeah, you talk about two players right here who know each other extremely well. Frances Tiafoe was ready for the short backhand angle on this passing shot, but Taylor Fritz knows that Frances knows that, so he went down the line and caught him now for the winner.
And as we said, a fascinating few games off the back of that epic third game. Under 3 minutes, that one. Very different. It's Fritz who's gained the initiative here.
Let's first serve. Love 15.
Sixth ace for Fritz. 0 so far from Tiafoe. More big serving from Fritz. And he's really starting to motor here. A little lost at the net again, Fritz. A good job by Tiafoe to turn that point around.
Yeah, you talk about just making your opponent play one more ball, but you see the speed from Frances Tiafoe, recognizing that Fritz wanted to go cross court with that approach shot and just making him have to play another volley.
Things were looking good for Taylor Fritz.
Advantage, Tiafoe.
Again, that's another case of Tiafoe knowing that Fritz likes to go wide with that deuce serve to his forehand on big points, and he sat on it once again.
And this time he's got the break, so what a turnaround. Fritz looking good for 4-1, but he's pegged back here. Tiafoe will serve at 2-3.
Frances Tiafoe get broken at 1-2. That's something that he's kind of been struggling with at times, especially in Adelaide. He's really been struggling with the mental side of things. Just kind of goes in and out of matches. He'll be at an extremely high level for a long time and then just kind of drop his level a little bit. And you can't do that against some of these top players. They make so many balls and push you. So you want to see Frances be able to keep that consistent mental level over a longer period of time.
Nick, obviously you played doubles with him. Where's he at with the shoulder here? He's got the sleeve on. I assume that's for sweat, but there's some tape on the shoulder, and I'm watching the serve speeds. They're not what you would normally expect.
Yeah, Frances Tiafoe, he switched to a new Jannik's racket right before the US Open last year. And ever since he's been using it, he's been having a bit of problems with his elbow, shoulder. So now they're definitely tinkering with different tensions and maybe having to switch to a different Jannik's racket just to alleviate the pain.
That's for a serve, 186 kilometers an hour. Had a bit of slice on it, but it doesn't look to be serving full out to me. 2 more break points here for Fritz.
30-40.
Something with this Jannik's racket, they told him that it was a different paint job, but pretty much the same stick. But once he was using it at the US Open, he kind of felt like it was not the same racket. He started feeling pain. And so now after this tournament, he's going to be tinkering with other rackets to try to figure out the issue.
To go against the grain there and take the return down the line. It was just 122 kilometer an hour serve, and I think maybe caught Fritz out.
Trying to work on with Frances Tiafoe is his serve, trying to use a bit more legs on it and then also a little bit more shoulder turn on the serve. Sometimes he can be too army with it. So I want to get a bit more shoulder turn and use his legs.
Yes.
Definitely struggling on the second serve, just 2 from 9. He's gone round the net post, and I'm not sure he had to play that last volley, Taylor Fritz.
That volley from Frances Tiafoe was actually going to go out, as we see here, and Taylor went ahead and played it. Luckily for him, he made this volley.
Tiafoe did a great job to read the play there, and Fritz will be relieved to see the
Advantage
final volley
Fritz.
land in. And when the dust settles, it'll be a 4th break point in this game. Always a good play to go back in behind a player like Fritz, who He's worked hard on his movement, but it's still not the lightest on his feet.
Red fist.
Brilliant from Tiafoe again. Add it to the list of highlights from this opening set.
Advantage Tiafoe.
Yeah, as you can see from that banner there that said full send, Frances Tiafoe and Taylor Fritz are sending it today.
Back in behind again. And he levels us up. Tiafoe, 3 games on.
Yeah, he is just so dangerous as soon as he gets on that ad side of the court to be able to hit forehands inside out or inside in. He has so much jump on his ball. And as you said, if he can push Taylor Fritz off of his mark, Taylor loves to stand on that baseline. If you can push Taylor Fritz back and maybe get a few shorter balls, you're going to be in the right position.
43 minutes on the clock, Nick. 3 games all. We need some sports drinks on the court. I think we're going to need some in the commentary box.
We're going to need some ASAP. We talked about Frances Tiafoe really focusing on his hydration with Pedialyte and putting a little bit extra salt in there just for cramping issues. We might need to get some salt in our sports drinks up here as well.
Yeah, you have to think physicality is going to become a factor in this match if it keeps going the way it's going.
Great redirection of the ball there from Taylor Fritz. Again, he just does not want to leave that baseline and just takes time away from Frances Tiafoe right there.
So explosive on the court, Tiafoe. But he's got one of the softest hands in the game as well. Beautiful touch there, not to mention the disguise.
Game, Fritz. New balls, please. Fritz leads by 4 games to 3. 15 left.
First ace for Tiafoe. I mentioned it, the tape on the shoulder, the sleeve perhaps giving the elbow some support. He played a long 5-set match in the opening round here. Came through against the qualifier, 198th
30
ranked
left.
Argentine Marco Trungelliti, 3-6, 6-4, 6-2, 3-6, 6-3, 2 hours and 52 minutes, and not the longest 5-setter.
40 left.
He's definitely just nurturing that first serve in rather than really going for it. 184 kilometers an hour here, but it got the job done. And it's a quick hold.
Game, Tiafoe.
just the game he would be looking for right there. Just a few first serves, a few quick points, under 1 minute for Frances Tiafoe. But yeah, as you said,
4 games on.
He's not really going for those first serves. You know, again, just a little bit of issue in the shoulder. He's been taking some Advil each day to kind of help with the pain.
16 minutes and 26 seconds shorter than the third game of the set. But it counts for the same.
Nice 1-2 punch from Taylor Fritz. Wide serve, open court. That's tennis right there.
Oh. 30 love.
Taylor Fritz's turn to tick through a service game in quick fashion. 9th ace. Make it 10.
Game Fritz.
Blink and you miss it, those 2 games. Both under a minute.
Fritz leads by 5 games to 4.
And Fritz now leading 5-4, just a game away from the opening set. So the world number 34, Frances Tiafoe, serving to stay in the first set. And that's a
love 15.
careless start to this crucial game.
Great depth on the run from Frances Tiafoe. Saw him outside of the court with that backhand, but he was able to get his left foot out there, come on the outside part of the ball, and get it deep enough to affect Taylor Fritz.
Such a crucial point there at love 15. Tiafoe doing well to cling on. Big difference between 15-all and love 30.
The
second error of the game here. Things just getting interesting. And that one lands in. I think Tiafoe had a play on the ball.
Yeah, a lot of times when he comes to the net, he kind of hopes the guys are going to miss the passing shot. He's not always ready for the reply. And here for Taylor Fritz, that's a sick passing shot. Gives himself a set point.
In this opening set, but Fritz only needed 1 set point.
6 games to 4.
And it's a higher ranked of these 2 young Americans that draws first blood, and he takes the opening set 6-4.
Second set.
He'll serve first
Fritz
in the second set, and you just sense there may be an opportunity for him to really put his foot on the accelerator here.
15 left.
Is it fair to say that just maybe slightly the fitter of the two players in terms of Tiafoe struggling with the shoulder perhaps on serve, and also slightly sharper in some big moments there, Fritz?
30 left.
Yeah, Taylor, he looks extremely sharp right now. As was talked about, his 3-week preseason in LA.
40 left.
He got in a solid week, then went and played in Abu Dhabi for about 4 or 5 days, then came back to LA, got in another week and a half before heading to the ATP Cup, but he looks extremely fit.
Let's first serve. Game, Fritz.
Yeah, and also a
First
big
game,
difference
second.
between the two here is just Fritz, his ability to get a few free points. You know, he has 13 aces throughout the match. And he's just able to not have to work as hard in some of his games. I mean, we saw the one game that was nearly 18 minutes long early in the first set, but after that, he hasn't had to work as hard as Frances Tiafoe, as Frances is kind of rolling the serve in and having to play each point.
And there's the win predictor, an 18.5% swing. Taylor Fritz now firm favourite. Yeah, and just the one ace for Tiafoe, and I definitely feel his speeds are down. In fact, his average first serve speed at the moment for the match, 184.5 kilometers an hour. His average for the 2021 season was 192 kilometers an hour. So, you know, some of that could be down to tactics on the day, serve direction. If they're hitting more slice serves, it's going to be slower, but I don't sense that's the case here. I think he's physically having to just limit the serve speed. That one coming in at just 167, the first serve. Fritz, incidentally, in 2021, tied 8th, fastest average first serve speed on tour.
30-15.
Averaging 199 kilometers an hour, so he's there or thereabouts today.
$40-15. Oh. 40-30. Yes.
Peg back to juice here, Tiafoe. And Ferrer looking a little distracted. Just 140 kilometers an hour on the second serve there, and Fritz able to get the forehand into play.
Yeah, and that was a game plan coming into this match, was being able to take advantage of the second serve from Frances Tiafoe, as sometimes it can land in the middle of the box, and Fritz was able to direct traffic with his forehand off the return. That's a bigger second serve from Frances Tiafoe, 175 kilometers an hour, so over that 100 mile an hour mark. Again, with Wayne Ferreira, they've been working on his serve a lot over the last couple of weeks, just with that shoulder turn, and it's almost like they've been tinkering with it too much, where Frances lost a little bit of confidence in it. Just missed. Just a forehand return there, but you've got to be careful. A slow second serve to that wing is like a shooting gallery. Disappointing start to the year, sorry Nick, for Tiafoe, hasn't it really, considering he was playing good tennis at the end of 2021. He came through qualifying in Vienna, I assume due to perhaps not entering the event there, all the way to the final where he played a good match with Zverev. Really looked to be moving forwards with his game. Semi-finalist in Stockholm, but 2 first rounds to start the year, and doesn't look himself in this match. This year, or sorry, the end of last year, he tested positive for COVID in Frances Tiafoe, so wasn't able to get in a lot of work kind of at the beginning of the preseason that he would have liked to. So he was in Florida and had to kind of stay isolated, and was able to get maybe about a week and a half in before coming over to Australia. Probably not the ideal preparation he would have wanted. He's fought his way through that service game. As players in the preseason, you kind of want to get at least a few weeks in of fitness, tennis. He was only able to get about a week and a half, and then now he's kind of having to try to play catch up over this time in Australia. He's doing a lot of work on the treadmill and really working hard in the gym, post matches, post practice over these last two and a half weeks to kind of play catch up. You wonder if it's going to be enough today. It's becoming more common, isn't it? In the game, the off-season is continually getting squeezed, isn't it, with longer season, exhibitions being added. Commentating together on Andre Rublev, weren't we, yesterday? I almost couldn't believe when you said he'd had about a 4 or 5 day pre-season. Yeah, the preseason was almost non-existent for Rublev, and again, talking about Davis Cup, I mean, these guys finished Davis Cup December 5th. You know, that's leaves you only 3 weeks before you got to get down to Australia. By the time you've had 5, 6, 7 days off, 15. You know, you maybe get a week of work in, then it's family time, festive period, and you're packing your bag. Yeah, you definitely need a week off as a player playing all year round. You definitely got to take a vacation week somewhere. You don't take days off though, Nick, do you? Just just trying to follow your lead. You know, just keep working, baby. Just keep at it.
40-15.
Fritz continues to look the stronger of the two players at this stage.
Game Fritz.
And a 14th ace sees
Fritz
him
leads
through.
by 2 games to 1.
There it is right there. There's that backhand down the line from Frances Tiafoe, setting up the forehand. Coach Wayne Ferrer will be happy about that one. They're working on that change of direction off the backhand side, getting his opponent off balance, and then whipping the forehand away.
And I'm right there with you, Nick. We haven't hit the levels of intensity and maybe quality yet that we saw in the first set, but this next 5-10 minute period is of huge importance in the context of the match. Looking at Tiafoe's record, he's never come back from 2 sets to love down in a Grand Slam. So you feel as if he must find a way to win this second set.
Absolutely, and for him, so far in this match, he's 1 of 7 on break points as Frances Tiafoe, so he's in some of those return games, so he just needs to hold serve, give himself a chance.
$40-15.
Mixing things up with the serve and volley.
2 games up.
The 4th time in the match he's serve and volleyed. Frances Tiafoe, he's won 2 of them.
Let's
What a great pass from Taylor Fritz. Reading that approach from Frances Tiafoe and just really staying down through that backhand. Didn't pull up off of it. Also a good play to return down the middle of the court, take the angles away, but Taylor Fritz was up to the task.
love. Love.
Holding very comfortably, Taylor Fritz, since the end of the first set. Another
Fritz.
hole to love here.
Fritz leads by 3-2.
We've had some sensational tennis. Fritz is set to the good. Tiafoe serving 2-3.
I just want to see Frances Tiafoe keep up the intensity here. When he's moving his legs quickly and being an athlete, he can hit any shot in the book. Again, you see him able to spread the court there.
15
that inside out forehand, but then a shorter angle on the next forehand. And just trying to get Taylor Fritz off the mark on the defense. That's when Taylor can struggle, is when he's having to play defense.
Definitely struggling physically on serve, Tiafoe, but he just has to try and keep finding a way to hold, perhaps mixing the serve and volley. Just looking at Fritz's last 5 service games since the tail end of the first set, he's only lost 2 points. 3 love holes and the other 2 to 15, so one-way traffic in his service games. He's not quite stringing them together on return.
Yeah, I'm just texting with Frances's buddy and hitting partner Jordi Arconada right now, and he's just saying the intensity in France's service games just isn't quite there right now. He needs to pick up that intensity and the footwork and the passion to want to win these games.
Tiafoe just
30-40.
drags the forehand wide, and for the second time in this set, Fritz has an opportunity to take a set and a break lead.
There we see Jordi Arconada, a friend of Frances Tiafoe. They've known each other since they were 10 years old. Now Jordi's on the team, traveling every week. Second serve that Taylor Fritz would love to have back. It didn't really jump away from him either. It was kind of right there in the wheelhouse, which you don't see Taylor Fritz miss many of those.
Advantage.
And again, there's no secrets out here. Everyone knows Frances Tiafoe loves that wide serve on the douche side, especially on a big point. He can put that thing on a dime. Very smart for Frances to go to that one. A key moment.
Nick, you mentioned these two are very good friends, and you know, if it's apparent to us that Tiafoe is struggling a little on serve, it's certainly going to be apparent to Taylor Fritz, who knows him very, very well. Does that make it perhaps slightly more difficult for him to, you know, break through here and really put his good friend to the sword?
Yeah, I think for Taylor Fritz, he knows that all he needs to do is just keep that intensity at a high level for a long period of time, because as we discussed before, Frances can have those kind of ebbs and flows and dips in his game, and Taylor knows just gotta stay there with him, even when Frances is playing at his highest level. And now he's giving himself a break point here as Taylor Fritz.
You certainly get the intensity high there. And this time he does break through.
New balls, please. Love.
It's 194 kilometers down the tee from Taylor Fritz.
An effective play for him anytime he's been able to go back in behind Taylor Fritz, who is a tall man, 6'5", 196 centimeters.
Yeah, Taylor kind of realizes, you know, if he has if there's an open court, he's got to start running that way. Doesn't like to play defense, so he tries to anticipate if he can. But as you said, going behind him is never a bad option.
And is that one of the key differences for Fritz? He's 22 in the world here. When you look at his weapons, very, very impressive. But you know, you look at Medvedev, Zverev, they're 6'6", Hurkacz 6'5", Berrettini 6'6". These are the top 10 players. Is it movement, the difference between them and Fritz?
Game, Fritz.
We'll get into that at the change of ends, because Fritz
leads by 5 games to 2.
Whipped his way through another hole of serve here. Oh, that's beautifully done by Tiafoe. Flick of the wrist.
Look at that racket head speed from Frances Tiafoe. Just so quick with the hand. He makes it look so easy. This is not an easy shot.
40 love.
Ask Fritz to serve out this set.
Fritz leads by 5 games to 3.
We just got a glimpse there of one of the tour physios, Per Basto. I understand he'll be coming on after this game, one way or another. There he is in the background behind Tiafoe in the lighter blue polo shirt. Expect him to be coming on to have a look at Tiafoe's arm or shoulder. But in the meantime, it's this man, Taylor Fritz, serving for a 2-set-to-love lead.
That is a weapon from Frances Tiafoe. Found the ball in the middle of the court that he could swat away. much better intensity with the footwork from Frances Tiafoe in this first point. Was able to set up the winner.
And in many ways, it begs the question, Nick, where's it been for the last half hour?
Absolutely.
That was quality.
15 on.
Definitely what he needs to do in this match, but it may be too little, too late. Quality serving from Taylor Fritz. Long.
You see Frances Tiafoe just pulling off of that forehand a little bit too quickly, not staying through the ball, and the frustration is mounting. Just great intensity from both players. They're realizing the moment right now.
30 all.
30 all. Fritz trying to serve it out. The birthday boy, Frances Tiafoe, would love to get a break here. Not if Taylor Fritz has something to say about it. 211 kilometers down the tee, setting up a set point.
His 8th ace of the set, 18th of the match. It is indeed a 2-set-to-love lead for Taylor Fritz, who's managing the match nicely here.
Fritz leads by 2-sets-to-0.
And he is motoring towards a 4th straight third round here at the Australian Open. He leads 2-sets-to-0. And as we said, Per Bastolt, the tour physio, coming on to visit Frances Tiafoe. That fan just got himself a nice souvenir. We assume the frame broke there when Tiafoe threw it on the court. Nice touch, I guess, to give it to a fan. We'll just try and listen in here.
Tiafoe to serve.
So Taylor Fritz here, 2 sets to the good. And Frances Tiafoe will kick us off in set number 3.
This is where, if you're a tennis player, you have to have a short-term memory. You have to be able to stay focused on the moment, not worry about being down 2-sets-to-0. You have to just focus 1 point at a time here if you're Frances Tiafoe. Taylor Fritz is just outworking Frances Tiafoe. If there's one way to put this match right now, it's just more intensity, better footwork, better focus from Taylor Fritz.
We know Tiafoe struggling with the arm, the shoulder. If he wants any inspiration on how to rehab an injury, he just has to look across the net today. Taylor Fritz undergoing right knee surgery on the 8th of June, and taking to the court at Wimbledon just 3 weeks later. Came through a first-round match there against Brandon Nakashima.
30-all.
If there's one thing about Taylor Fritz, he likes to try to prove people wrong. And people didn't think he was going to come back from that surgery and be back on the court at Wimbledon. And sure enough, he did come back, and did he come back strong, Taylor Fritz?
Yeah, he beat Nakashima, as I say, and he also beat Steve Johnson. He took care of 2 Americans there before losing to Alexander Zverev in a tough 4-set match. And well, he's got a breakpoint opportunity here. And this could be the end of the line for Frances Tiafoe if he loses it. They're able to dig deep there, 215 kilometers an hour. In fact, it's his fastest serve of the match, 133.6 miles per hour. I want some of that Per Bastolt treatment on my arm.
You sometimes wonder with Francis why he waits till the last minute like this to bring out those big serves. And now you're down 2 sets to love and you're having to fight back. And I guess if there's any time, you still want to bring it out now, but why wait till the last minute?
And while the drama has been happening at Tiafoe's end of the court, Taylor Fritz has been workmanlike in his performance, very focused throughout.
That's where you see just the lack of focus from Frances Tiafoe. He had that short ball, could have done anything with that forehand, and just kind of went for, if you want to call that a drop shot, maybe as a drop shot lob. As we see his team camp there, Michael Russell in the white and Wolfgang in the blue on the far right. His physio. Physio for Taylor Fritz also works with Riley Opelka. He's worked with Mackie McDonald, Tommy Paul, so he's worked with a lot of Americans. And he also works with the Davis Cup team there, Wolfgang from Phoenix, Arizona. Great guy, also hits the ball extremely well, so he'll get out there with Taylor Fritz and strike balls down the middle.
Very nice backhand down the line there from Fritz, just to turn the point on his head.
Advantage, Fritz.
Yeah, you can just hear these guys working. It is so physical out there.
Three from 11 so far for Taylor Fritz. Another opportunity now for the break. And break he does. An incisive return down the line.
First game, 3rd set.
Sun shines on the John Cain Arena. And it's Taylor Fritz shining on the court. He's serving 1-0.
That's one thing I try to tell Frances Tiafoe, even when we're playing doubles matches. If we're down in a match and if we're down, you know, pretty badly, like, you know, remember those basketball teams? He likes to follow the Washington Wizards, and I'll say, look, these guys were down 30 points and they came back and won, so you always have a chance. And so we were able to be down last year, actually, to Pospisil and Shapovalov 6-2, 4-1, came back and won that match. And so that's helped him in some of his singles matches, just feeling like he can still keep going.
It's a play we've seen it a couple of times in the first set. We haven't seen it since.
Yeah, it was like deja vu, right? We saw that in the first set. He won probably 4 or 5 points with that exact same short slice and forehand cross court. And then it completely went away in the second set. Maybe he'll realize that that was a winning combination.
The winner of this match will
30-15.
face off in the third round against the winner of the match between 15th seed Roberto Bautista Agut, who was in sparkling form at the ATP Cup in Sydney. And he's currently on court, just fairly early stages of the first set, against the evergreen Philipp Kohlschreiber, the German, still going strong. 3-love Bautista Agut first set.
Taylor Fritz kind of had Frances Tiafoe on a string. He was running him side to side. But Tiafoe was able to get the ball deep enough in the court to affect that backhand from Taylor Fritz. And I'd love to see that fist pump from Frances, looking over to his camp saying, I'm still here, not going away yet.
Advantage.
Clean strike. Just misses.
Fritz. Game. Fritz.
Frances Tiafoe doing what he can to dig his heels in.
Fritz leads by 2 games to none.
Fritz comes through.
Frances Tiafoe, he's 1 for 7 on break points won throughout this match. Just hasn't found a way to be able to break Taylor Fritz consistently. But again, it's been Fritz just finding big serves when he's needed them.
Love 15.
For Fritz, this professional career has been a long time in the making. Began playing tennis at age 2. Father Guy, a tennis coach, and of course his mother, Kathy May, was a top 10 player on tour. I wonder what his court coverage was like at 2 years old.
I was going to say, were you holding the racket at 2?
15.
I mean, I was at 4, was what I was told. So 2 years old, that's pretty early and impressive stuff for Taylor Fritz.
I still hit the ball like I'm 4, Nick.
On the flip side, Frances Tiafoe started playing tennis when he was 3.
Here we go, very similar journeys for these two men. Fantastic story for Tiafoe, actually. His father served as head of maintenance at the Junior Tennis Champions Centre, College Park in Maryland, where he's from. Occasionally came to work with his father and spent entire days at the tennis centre hitting some balls. So what a journey it's been for him, all the way to this John Cain Arena today on his 24th birthday. It feels as if time may be running out for Frances Tiafoe. It's a must-hold game here if he's to have any chance today.
That second serve into the body on these fast courts, right? The ball's moving through the court extremely quickly, so if you can get a nice spin serve into the body, that can create a short ball. We haven't seen enough of those body serves from Frances, especially on the second serve. Also, the body serve can work against a guy like Taylor Fritz because he stands on the baseline on that second serve. So he's got pretty long arms. So if you can just bring him in on him, get a little bit tight on that return and maybe get a few short balls, then Frances Tiafoe could dictate with the forehand.
Advantage, Tiafoe. Game, Tiafoe.
Tiafoe hanging around for now.
Fritz leads by 2 games.
The holder serve keeps his chances just alive. Match now has a very different feel from the opening set, which was keenly contested. In fact, we had a 17-minute third game of the match. Taylor Fritz was able to come through that game, hold serve for 2-1 first set, and he's just gradually grabbed a hold of the match since then.
Yeah, you kind of felt like that game was, you know, one of those, whoever won that game was going to win the set. You know, he, as you said, Taylor Fritz won that game and then actually had break points the next game. against Tiafoe. And it's been kind of moving quickly away from Frances here. Taylor Fritz has been putting the pedal to the metal. Frances Tiafoe wants a few more returns like that, standing inside the court, taking time away.
30-15.
Was able to read this second serve here, and that double-handed backhand is money in the bank for Tiafoe. Short backswing.
40-15.
20th ace of the match for Taylor Fritz. Huge weapon for him. The short slice again, 4 or 5 times in the match. We've seen it from Tiafoe, and it's been very effective.
40-30.
Taylor Fritz bidding to reach the 3rd round here at the Australian Open for the 4th year in a row. And who can forget his 3rd round match here last year? Epic contest with Novak Djokovic, who was struggling with that abdominal injury. Fans were then asked to leave the Rod Laver Arena due to Victoria going into a lockdown.
Game, Fritz.
Eventually Djokovic came through, and the rest is history.
Fritz leads by 3-1.
Yeah, Taylor Fritz has lost quite a few of those 3rd round matches in the Grand Slams and started calling himself the 3rd round guy, but he's definitely not a 3rd round player. This guy is 22 in the world and playing some great ball.
Oh,
with shots like that, he will not be a 3rd round guy here at the Australian Open.
Love.
That was some serious firepower off the forehand from Taylor Fritz. That's his 14th winner on that forehand wing.
yeah, you mentioned Fritz at 22 in the world. It's a career high ranking. He's the #1 male American at the moment. If he could just get himself a few spots higher again, inside the top 16 seeds, then his chances of going beyond the 3rd round significantly improve. Winner of this forecast to play the 15 seed, Bautista Agut, so that'll be another really tough 3rd round match.
That's a patented wide serve that Frances Tiafoe possesses. He just opens the court so well with that slice, and no chance for Fritz there. You said that's that play that's been working extremely well for Tiafoe, going in behind the Fritz backhand. Fritz starts to run to the open court immediately, expecting the open court forehand, but great shape there for Frances Tiafoe.
Yeah, we've seen the short slice in this game, which has been effective. The back behind. His tactics went walkabout for Tiafoe in the second set. Lost the intensity, lost the initiative in the match. He's got a chance to stick around here.
Let's listen. Please, thank you.
Stick around, he does. Not going down without a fight here, Tiafoe.
Fritz leads by
Fritz leads
3 games to 2.
3-2, third set.
Love 15.
Just a sense that Tiafoe, since having the trainer on at the set break, starting to focus on his tennis again and become re-energized. For those that recently joined us, Tiafoe has been struggling with
15
the right arm and shoulder pain. Serve speeds have been down slightly today.
We talked about the winners of both wings for both players being pretty even, but for the most part, after that, it's just been the intensity has been much stronger from Taylor Fritz. Absolutely loves. That's his bread and butter off that backhand side. He loves this little flick cross court. As we said, there's no secrets out there, and even when you know it's coming, sometimes it's just too good. Look at that injection of pace from Taylor Fritz off that backhand. Frances thought he got it out of the strike zone of Taylor Fritz, but Taylor was able to step inside the baseline and take it early. Give himself a game point here.
Game, Fritz. New balls, please. Fritz leads by 4 games to 2.
Only been broken once in the match, Taylor Fritz. That was in the middle of the first set. Comfortable holds for the most part since. I just feel Fritz has done a good job here of parking that friendship and focusing on the match.
What Taylor Fritz's coach wanted him to do was really focus on his service games, just take care of those games, and we've seen Taylor with 20 aces throughout the match. He's been able to, after that 17-minute game early on in the first set, he's been able to find a way to have some pretty quick service games, Taylor Fritz.
And this is where you scratch your head watching Tiafoe. The previous game looks to be fighting hard, digging his heels in, trying to get back into the match, and yet there he is with a really careless volley.
A lot of times when he comes to the net, again, he just kind of wants his opponent to miss the passing shot or go for something too much. Sometimes he needs to be ready, have better intensity at the net with his footwork, keeping the hands out in front. But Taylor Fritz will take those errors.
Living dangerously, Tiafoe already 2 sets and a breakdown. Very little wiggle room here, but he finds the corner with his forehand. Tiafoe taking a long look at the baseline. He thought that return was long. But the electronic line calling confirming it clipped the very back edge.
30-40.
And it brings up an opportunity for Fritz to get the double break here in the 3rd set.
Juice. Advantage Fritz.
A rather tame looking forehand there, and the match in danger of fizzling out here for Tiafoe. Sides of the court right there off the forehand wing. These guys testing each other out. And Fritz had the opening with this down the line shot. Just a little too deep. The points over 9 shots in this match, Nick. We've had 19 of them. Tiafoe's won 15. Just hasn't been able to create enough of those situations.
Just that I was looking at earlier. Anytime the rallies have been extended and he's been able to play his defense, use his athleticism, he's had the upper hand. But again, as you said, there's only been 19 of those rallies. He's won 15 of them. It's been much shorter points for Taylor Fritz.
Game Tiafoe.
Well, Tiafoe finds a way through another service game, and with it keeps his chances alive here in the John Cain Arena. Taylor Fritz leads 4 games to 3, 3rd set.
4 games to 3.
It's large and in charge here in John Cain Arena, serving 4-3, 3rd set.
15 left.
The short points.
40 left.
Fritz has been so strong on, particularly the serve and first ball combinations.
Game, Fritz.
And the score graphic has just deserted us momentarily, but I can confirm.
Fritz leads by 5 games to 3.
As the umpire Thomas Sweeney does. A love hold for Taylor Fritz, and he now leads 5-3 and just a game away from the third round.
Frances Tiafoe, you just love to get a hold here and make Taylor Fritz have to serve out this match. You never know if he might feel a little pressure serving it out and getting into another third round here at the Australian Open.
30 love. Let's first set. (30-15).
It's been such an effective play for Taylor Fritz, stepping up onto and inside the baseline for the second serve return. And he's now just 2 points away from the third round. Brilliant from Tiafoe. He hasn't been his sharpest at the net today, and he was on this occasion.
40-30.
Once again, Tiafoe holds on, and he's at least going to ask his good friend Taylor Fritz to serve out this match. Fritz leads 5-4, third set. What are you looking for here, Nick, from Tiafoe if he's to try and get back into this match?
I'd love to see a few fist pumps here from Tiafoe, especially if he's able to get this first point. Try to get the crowd into it. Look at his camp. I like there how he changed his return position on that point. Stood a little bit deeper. But maybe it's a little too late.
Just a fourth double fault for Fritz, who's been serving very well. First of the set. exchanges that Fritz has come out on top of.
30-15.
You see how physical this match has been. These guys are huffing and puffing. Taylor Fritz is taking his time smartly. Obviously, this is a big moment, playing one of his closest friends to get to the third round here on Australian Open.
Did seem to just take the wind out of Taylor Fritz, and it's a ragged looking forehand. Take his time here, steady himself. That's exactly what he did, and finds another telling first serve.
40-30.
And with it, he brings up his first match point.
Seen him go for that big of a second serve throughout this entire match. Again, that's the second double fault of the set, only 5 for the match. But that was a very aggressive second serve.
Tiafoe going to the chip return, getting himself into the point, and there's the fist pump you were looking for, Nick.
Yeah, he loves to get the crowd going, does Tiafoe. And that's the energy I think he needs right now. Get this crowd pumped up. He's had a lot of cheers from some fans. People know it's his birthday. They would love to see him try to come away with a W.
A long way to go if he's to get that W. He's got a break point here. Does indeed break. Well.
Jannik Tiafoe.
He's looked down and out for the vast majority of this third set, Frances Tiafoe. But just in the nick of time, benefiting from some nerves perhaps from Taylor Fritz. And he's back in this third set.
As we saw the clock there, 2 hours and 24 minutes in. Frances Tiafoe finally brought some of the energy that we've been wanting to see throughout this course of the match.
5 games
getting the crowd juiced.
Nick, I didn't see that coming. It's been a comfortable second and third set for Taylor Fritz. But these players don't get to decide when nerves sneak up on them.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you. We saw that second serve from Taylor Fritz going as big as he tried to on that match point. Definitely nerves creeping in.
Tiafoe now controlling the court, feeling it once again.
40 love.
Tiafoe survives.
Tiafoe.
He lets out a roar. Having saved a match point in the previous game, he comes through and now leads 6-5, third set.
Tiafoe leads by 6 games to 5.
It's a nice combination of shots.
15.
A nice 1-2 punch into the body. And when Taylor Fritz has that forehand in the middle of the court, he can go absolutely anywhere with it.
Love.
A little surprised to see him move round to take a backhand there, but it was the same result. Goodness me, what a hit.
I mean, are you kidding me? Off the bounce like that. That racket head speed and wrist action from Tiafoe is next level.
30-15.
Vast majority of players would have been defending off that Fritz forehand. A wry smile there.
Led first set. First set.
Found his rhythm on serve again, Fritz.
40-15.
Now it looks as if we'll be heading to a tiebreak to decide this third set.
Game Fritz.
A tiebreak it is.
Six games all tiebreak.
And this is where the big boys shine right here.
Fritz has played 3 tiebreaks so far this season, 2 in the ATP Cup, 1 in his first round against Martyr. He's won 2 and lost 1. First tiebreak for Tiafoe this season. Fritz that strikes early. So dangerous when he has time on that forehand.
Fritz.
Yeah, you don't want to leave a ball hanging in the middle of the court. You can go inside out, inside in. Again, such great ball striking from Taylor Fritz.
Fritz's coach there, former top 100 player, Michael Russell.
Three double faults creeping in. That last game he served, and now the tiebreaker. 3 in the set.
Yeah, two in the 5-4 game, wasn't it?
Yep.
And 1 now. What can Tiafoe do with this second serve? to return deep in the court, and it's another gift, a birthday present, if you like, from Taylor Fritz.
2-1 Tiafoe.
Yeah, that's not a backhand that he normally misses. When he's able to be stationary, he finds a rhythm.
Scrappy's tiebreak so far. 3 of the 4 points lost with unforced errors. To have a point 1 on serve in this tiebreak.
3-2 Fritz.
Is off once again for Taylor Fritz. Neither player wanting to step up and take the initiative here. And we're changing ends at 3-all. Both players struggling to find their best tennis at this moment. Finally, we have a point 1 on serve.
4-3 Fritz.
Another cannon from Tiafoe, 212 kilometers an hour out wide. Hasn't used that flat one out wide quite enough in this match, I would think. But maybe he's waiting for the right situations, and this would be the time to do it.
Tried to move around and be aggressive.
And that's what you would like to do there at 4-all. You want to be aggressive with your footwork, take some chances there. And Taylor Fritz has been winning the majority of the short points. Anything lasting under 8 shots, he's been in the positive. But 9+, Frances Tiafoe has been ahead.
Well, he finds the line that time with a forehand, Fritz.
5-all.
Beautiful strike with the tiebreak hanging in the balance. It's a very cheap miss.
(6-5).
So 10 or so minutes since his first match point. Taylor Fritz once again on the verge of a place in round 3. And this time he gets it.
Fritz.
And look at what it means to
3
him.
sets to love. 6-4, 6-3, 7-6.
A little over-exuberant, perhaps. He's cramping here, Fritz. Everything went into that final backhand. Everything went into this All-American second-round match. And his good friend, Frances Tiafoe, comes round the net to embrace Taylor Fritz. Lovely scenes between the two men.